hit this recording button. Okay, so welcome everyone. This is the fourth edition of the Operator Huddle. It's been a while since we had one, and yeah, it's good to be back. As you mentioned a couple of minutes ago, it's really nice to have those calls here in Discord. It's a very familiar, cozy environment to do this kind of event. So yeah, let's start right away because we have a very long list of questions. Honestly, I didn't expect to have that many, especially when usually during the event itself is when we receive most of them. So at least on Slido we have 20 questions, and yeah, we'll try to answer as many as we can, plus the ones that you're gonna make live during the event. So yeah, let's begin with a short introduction. We already had Franco on the previous call. Nando, this is going to be your first one. So yeah, let's start with a short introduction. Maybe Franco, you can start first.
Sure. So I think you all know me from before. I'm glad to be here working. Um, just released the beta one, and we are working on the towards beta two. And yeah, we'll go to mainnet very soon. So hello all. Yeah.
Nando, can you introduce yourself too?
Well, I'm Nando. I'm working on the smart contracts in Diva and also Nectar. And yeah, I've been here since the very beginning. And Diva is well, it is a very challenging project, as you know, and it is. I'm very glad to be part of this team. And well, let's solve all your questions.
Awesome. Well, let's start right away because as I mentioned, we have a lot of questions to answer. Okay, so I will. Let's start with the first one, which is what was the biggest challenge you encountered during the development of the current beta testnet?
Okay, I'll take that. So it was a long journey for beta. We did have a lot of improvements on the technical side, and the highest or the hardest issue we had to deal with was the P2P integration for the consensus. Apart from that, we did a lot of refactored of pretty much everywhere on the code to have something which we are more comfortable with. And yeah, but timing was an issue. And yeah, particularly the peer-to-peer settings configuration for the consensus integration, that was the hardest.
Yeah, from the smart contract side, I think that the most challenging and interesting part as well is the verification of the withdrawal credential when we activate the validators. So we have a full path of validator creation without trust, as we can, as we prevent any front running withdrawal credential front running attack by doing that. And it is very, it was, it is doable thanks uh, to the latest hard fork in Ethereum, which introduced the EIP 4788, the beacon block root on the execution layer. And well, that is, I think, from the smart contract, it is the most interesting.
I was curious which thing would you pick because as we saw on the blog post, the change log for this version is huge. So I was literally like curious, like, okay, which are the things that were most challenging? But yeah, I mean, for sure, those things were the ones that make most sense, right? Okay, so let's move to the second one. Okay, this one it's kind of spicy. Let's put it this way. Let's see. Let's see how. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are really interested, especially in that question. So, from 1 to 10, what do you think are the chances for Diva to launch this year? What probabilities do you give based on what you've done so far?
Well, from my point of view, well, I'm very optimistic always. So maybe you don't know me, but I'm always very optimistic, and well, I'm pretty confident that we are launching Diva this year. I'd say 9 or 10.
Okay, nice. What about you? What do you think? What are your personal odds? I mean, none of this is binding, okay, guys? We're just speculating here. Of course, their speculations are the best ones we can get out there, but I don't want like after in a week or so
Okay.
like harassing them or anything.
Well, okay. So I think that now, well, beta testnet will give us a lot of metrics, a lot of insights that we still don't know because we haven't launched the peer-to-peer network, and we haven't stressed the Diva client as much as we are doing right now. But I'm pretty confident that we can solve all those issues because of how the Diva client is designed, and there are many ways to parallelize all the jobs that happens inside it. So, well, I, th- I I'm pretty confident. So, well, let's see what Franco thinks about it.
Yeah, I agree with Nando. I think we took some shortcuts in order to be confident that we are almost complete. Like um, in terms of features, we are complete. So now we are just getting ready to be mainnet ready. So yeah, I think 8 9 is a good number.
Okay, okay, I like that. I really like those odds. I'm pretty sure everybody else does. Everybody else does too. Okay, let's move to the next one. So, can you share more the information about the report button that appears in the pool section on the operator UI? For those of you that maybe still don't haven't joined any pool, once you join the pool, you can see the other operators there. So there is a button, a new button that has appeared there, which it says report. Uh,
Uh, Yes, so the report button that appears in the operator UI, it is to report other operators that work on the same validator as you, on the same pool. So if when the metrics are enabled in the close future, you will know how the others operators are performing. And if you see that an operator works horribly bad for a long period of time, you can report it because at the end it will decrease the performance of the validator, and you will be damaged by others' behavior. So you will try to have the cleanest operator or participant sets in your pool. So by doing that, you can report another operator, and when the consensus of the pool agrees that that operator is performing bad, his keyshare are disabled, and he no longer participates in that pool. So you are cleaning bad performing keyshare, and once well, you know that there is a threshold that we need to be able to aggregate all the signature in order to uh, make the to create the signature for the validating for the staking. And so when there are two operators reported, two key shares reported and disabled, the validator will be requested to exit to recover the funds and create a new. validator with a cleaner with another different operator set.
Okay, so that's in the case of two at the same time. Okay, okay,
Yeah.
that's a very important safety feature, right?
Yeah, so the reporting will be manual, as you can see in the operator UI, but the validator exit it is just another routing in the Diva client. So yeah, that
In the
is important.
in the
Okay,
operator
okay.
in the operator UI, you will be able to see uh, how others are performing, the metrics of the others. So if you see that they are not good enough, you can report them, and if enough people report them, they kick out, and your validator will perform much better.
Okay, okay. So that's a manual function. What about, is there going to be any automatic function about that?
Hopefully yes, but we haven't worked on the heuristic for that algorithm. But yes, in the future probably yes, but it will be probably after mainnet.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's move to the next one. The next one is about the minority clients. How are they performing? And a user said that they saw that in the chat that some of them are having some minor issues with them. What's the state with that?
So we do support any client. We don't have any issue with clients. I think, uh, if I understand correctly, I think some users were having issues integrating some clients on our setup. But in terms of compatibility or we are fully compatible. The the only requirement we have is Nimbus to be validator client. But Nimbus can work with any consensus client, and any consensus client can work obviously with any execution client. So that means that we are fully compatible with any setup, and we in the script and in the package that we delivered, we only used Lighthouse and Geth. That was just for convenience, but we are fully compatible with any yeah.
Great. Just a quick reminder to everyone that in favor of client diversity, we have switched to Nimbus as a default consensus client, so that that was the thing I believe in the previous call that we discussed when we had one of their core developers. Okay, let's
Yeah.
move into the next question then.
Just a
Yeah, sorry.
little a little point that we do not require any in particular consensus client, but validator client. We require Nimbus to be the validator client for one single reason, is that they are the only ones that they are implementing the Web3 Signer field recipient standard, the Web3 Signer um, yeah, so verify a standard, and that's a mechanism that allows us to um, propose blocks in a trustless way. When we are signing blocks, we need to know the withdrawal address of the blocks, the fee recipient of the work of the blocks, and Nimbus is the only validator client that is supporting that. So that's the reason that why we are supporting the validator client, but the setup does not require any consensus client in particular. We users can use any consensus client they want, and execution client as well.
Okay, got it. Note taken. Let's move to the next one. What are the dev avenues for improving validator performance?
Nando, do you want to take that, or do I?
Go ahead.
So the first thing is to repair bugs, because right now we are having bugs, as you probably see in terms of performance of the systems. So that are breaking the nodes, and that obviously when the node is down, they cannot sign. So even though we have the consensus ready and working, if the nodes are down, the consensus takes some time to work. So the first and most obvious way to improve the performance of the overall validators is to have to have those bugs fixed. And then we also can we have some rooms for improvements in terms of parallelization. And I think the consensus also can be a bit improved. We are doing things with very conservatively, and we may optimize it a bit in the future. So, yeah, those are the main ways. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Let's move to the next one that I will combine with the question that Berto left here in the chat. So, when are we planning to open source certain parts of the protocol, and when are we planning to verify the contracts on Etherscan?
Okay, I think that we in relation to the open sourcing of the code, I think the sooner the better. But for some pieces, we will wait until the mainnet launch. For example, the Diva client and well the submitter coordinator, everything. And in relation to the smart contract, they will be open source probably earlier if we do a bug bounty contest or something like that. And in relation to the verification of the Diva contracts in the on SSCAN, we can do it with a few contracts, probably the LSD tokens and well, probably LSD tokens. But I think that the accounting manager, the validator manager, and collateral curve will need to wait until we we conclude the next audit. That, that that's what.
Okay, let's move to the next one, which is related to the testnet itself. So we saw some interesting cases where, well, of course, all the process. Just a first quick note that the process of pool assigning key shares, it's completely random. So a user has noted that. So do you think it's fair having the node active since the first day with 3 pools, and other with less time having 80 to 100 pools? So the thing is, I guess this is, as I mentioned earlier, it's related to the randomness, right?
Yeah. So I don't know if we have explained that, but each key share is like a lottery ticket, and the more tickets you have, the more chances to get into a new pool that we create. So that is one thing, and it depends on the all that depends on randomness. There is a lottery, and you if you have the best metrics, you get into the validator, and if you don't have it, you don't get it. The problem these days is that we have uh, a cold start, and the coordinator is sometimes well, the coordinators are sometimes down because we are reviewing the metrics and the logs and everything. So maybe that is affecting the how the key shares are assigned uh, to pools, but at the end it will depend on randomness, and probably when the scenes are more stable, y- uh, this well this lack of randomness, I wouldn't say lack, but I say this pseudo randomness will be probably fix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, regarding the question, in the first day, there is no way that you have 100 pools because we are not creating so many validators at the same day. So the throughput of the validators right now is we post the events of the pending validators just to have a certain control until we fix some stuff. And this is something that obviously we are not going to be able to do it very soon. This is something that we are doing now because it's a testnet, and in maybe in the next release or of course in mainnet we are not going to be able to do this. But yeah, that's maybe the reason, and that's and we understand the experience should be more equal for everyone, but. Yeah, in the next release, it will improve until we have something absolutely random. But in terms of DKGs and creation of the validators and so on, they are random. But the thing is that we are stopping some of them. But that's all.
Okay. Okay. I see. I see. Well, of course, it makes sense to do it this way, especially at the beginning. Okay, next question is what is the minimum amount of ETH as collateral for a node to create validators and pools?
Okay, so well, an operator can deposit the amount of collateral that deserves that he wants. But so to start being eligible for a pool, the minimum amount is 0.8 ethers. That is when you get your first key share, and that key share cost decreases over time as long over decreases when you deposit more ethers in the collateral as collateral. So when you I think I don't remember properly, but I think when you deposit collateral for 25 key shares, or a bit more, the cost of the key share is 0.4 ethers, so it decreases to half of the maximum cost, and it becomes constant since that point, since that key share. So the range is 0.8 ethers the maximum cost and zero point 0.4 the minimum.
Which compared to other protocols, it's very 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 low. Like the difference is huge.
Yeah, yeah. So we are talking about individual key shares. So the entrance to participating in validation is we lower that. But in terms of collateral, a validator gets the is collateralized in a similar way, probably as Rocket Pool or Rocket Pool probably because I think they are collateralizing validator with four ethers. I'm not sure. So if you sum five key share with an amount of 0.8 ethers, you uh, you get four ethers as collateral. Well, Franco is telling me that we are Rocket Pool has eight ether as collateral, so we are decreasing it a lot. Do you want to go, Franco?
Yes. So I was saying that we are having the same economic model that Rocket Pool instead that we are in terms that we are collateralized, but we are a bit lower because we don't have operators with the full private key of the validator, but we have operators. Our operators only have key shares. So that's why we are able to lower until that amount. which is order of magnitude lower. And that decreasing amount of key shares is the curve that you can see in the operator UI. Most of you guys ask why this is why the why is that curve there. So that's the reason. The first key share is a bit more expensive, and then it goes down up down to 0.4. Yeah, that's the reason.
Of course, I'm asking a little bit of from a marketing point of view, right? It's something very cool to marketing out. You know, you just say, hey, it's twice as low or 10 times as low. So that's a really really nice headline.
Yeah. Also, some of the users, few of them actually, they ask about this curve of collateral. Why do we have this curve and we don't have the numbers? And we will add the numbers for the next release. We are already working on that. So you will see not only the number of keychains that you have deposit, but also the Diva and the ETH that you have deposited. So you at first sight you will be able to see what's the collateral you have, and you don't need to think or to do the math to calculate it.
Yeah, indeed, and just to add something else that soon we'll be releasing a lot of documentation about that as well. So you'll be able to read all this in details with all the graphics and everything. Okay, so let's move to the next one. Is there a way to establish the health of my node, defined by successful participation in the pool from the dashboard? Or if this is planned to be included later?
Yeah, I think it is planned to be included, but it's not already uh, developed. So for that, we need all the metrics and well, mainly all the metrics of the participation, how they are creating the partial signature, and if they are aggregating them. And there we have the metrics, but we haven't processed them yet. So hopefully it will be very soon, but not ready yet.
Yeah, no
Yeah, I
promises.
think
No promises.
it's next release. This is the current features that we are developing. So in the next release, we will have that. And also coming back to the question that how can we increase the validator performance? That's one of the ways we will, because metric can help us to troubleshoot if there is some problem with the setup of the system and so on. So yeah, that's coming.
Okay, so sooner than later. Okay, so let's move to the last one that I have from this very, very long list. So when submitted attestation stats for each node, a ping time to each node in the pool shown somewhere would be great too, because that's kind of related.
Uh, yeah, I think we already commented on that, right? So the we can do the automatic stuff, but if we do that, we assume the criteria, and we want the user to have the criteria of all the things possible. But yeah, we can automate that, or just to put an option to automate that. Yeah.
Okay, well, and this is it. If you guys have any last minute questions, you can leave them in the chat. We can take a couple of more, and then we can close the session. By the way, meanwhile, you're preparing your questions, if any. I left a link to a Galaxy mission if you want to mint the Pope Oat, how it's called there. The only condition was to listen to this call for at least 10 minutes, and your account will be able to mint it. So you have 2 more days to do so. So there's enough time to mint as soon as you've spent at least 10 minutes in this call. Okay, so I guess no more questions. That's it. Okay, well, thank you very much again, guys. Really cool to have you here. Nando, I hope you enjoyed your first experience in this calls.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It is the first AMA for me. It's been good.
Well, I'm sure we'll try to invite you again because we really like volunteers.
Perfect.
Okay, guys. Well, thank
Thank
you
you.
again for joining, and see you in the next one.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. See you. Have a nice day.